Leaders face them, help shape them, have them, and they are always adjusting. This is a leader's guide to emotions. Emotions. Why should you care about them? Some reasons you should care about emotions are they are a driving force behind motivation, organizational change, daily experiences and daily affective states are related to job attitudes like job satisfaction, and emotional contagions are emotions that can spread within work groups because individuals express their emotions through verbal and non-verbal mechanisms, which we'll get into later, and it can be for positive or negative emotions. Another reason is that dissatisfied employees are more likely to see it if they feel they have been treated unfairly by the organization. Also, dissatisfied employees are more likely to join a union in the workplace. It also impacts employee well-being. And leadership style impacts affective states, but not all managers influence this equally. Emotions, what are they? Emotions can be defined as a mental state associated with the nervous system brought on by chemical changes associated with thoughts, feelings, and behavioral responses. It is often intertwined with mood, temperament, personality, disposition, and motivation. In psychology, we define it as momentary feelings and thoughts that arise in response to specific events in the environment, and they are guiding reactions to and perceptions of stimuli in the environment. Moods are an emotional state that is longer in duration, that has less clear causes from environmental stimuli or events, less intensiveness than an emotion. Temperament broadly refers to consistent individual differences in behavior that are biologically based, and disposition is a quality of character or a tendency to act in a specified way that may be learned. There are 6 basic categories of emotion: anger, scared, tender, excited, happy, sad, otherwise known as anger, disgust, sadness, happiness, fear, and surprise. And combining them together, you can get more complex emotions. Some important notes. We're going to talk about emotional labor. There's display rules, which are the requirements to show a particular emotion and monitor the use of emotions. There's surface level acting, which is the changing of the expressions of emotions without changing the emotions themselves. And then there's deep level acting, which is changing the expressions of emotions and attempting to change underlying emotions themselves. Theories of emotions. The theories can be grouped into 3 main categories: evolutionary, which we won't cover, somatic, and cognitive. For the somatic, you have the James Lange theory, the Cannon-Bard theory, and the 2-factor theory. James Lange theory, you have the physiological response first, then the emotion, which is emotion-specific reactions to the environmental stimuli. For the Cannon-Bard theory, it triggers both the physiological response and the awareness of emotion at the same time. And for the 2-factor theory, you have physiological reactions contributed to the emotional experience by facilitating a focused cognitive appraisal of a given physiologically arousing event, and that this appraisal was what defined the subjective emotional experience. So, for example, my physiological reaction helped me gain focus on what was happening and make my cognitive appraisal. And that, in conjunction with my appraisal, it helped me define what those emotions were. The cognitive theories, we're going to be covering Lasser's theory and the affective events theory. For the Lazarus theory, there's three parts. You have the cognitive appraisal, which could be conscious or unconscious. You have the physiological response to that appraisal, and then you have the resulting behavioral action from that response. Then you have the affective events theory, which says the work environment features impact both work events and work attitudes, and that work events impact affective reactions, but is moderated by dispositions of the individual, and affective reactions impacts both affective-driven behaviors, which are almost instantaneous reactions to an event, and work attitudes or job attitudes. And then work attitudes impact judgment-driven behaviors. So the broaden and build theory would suggest that experiencing positive emotions builds personal resources, opening up our mind to more flexible ways of thinking. It also increases creativity, which can help with decision making and planning.
Diversity alert.
Emotions impact diversity in a way that they create a prejudice and in-group favoritism. Looking at the stereotype competent model using warmth and competency, we can take a look that if you have high warmth and high competence assigned to someone, they normally have high status. You're not competitive with them, you're prideful to have a relationship with them, and you hold them in admiration. These are a lot of the times in-group members or close allies or people you look up to. Another example is if you have low warmth and low competence. These are people normally like homeless, people on welfare, poor people. You normally give them low status. You hold them in contempt and disgust and anger. And these are just some examples that you can use this model for to see how emotions can show unconscious bias. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that you got something out of it that you can take with you back to improve your leadership skills. And don't forget that if you would like to see me in person, do my research presentations, or anything like that, make sure to contact me via my website, which is linked below. And until next time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching. Check out these other videos from my channel